This was played in 1981, as about a month before the game we just looked at with Olson, and and it was a very tough tournament, the American Open. I ended up with 4 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses, and tied for second under 2000 price. I still had an under 2000 rating, like 1970 or something. But as this tournament was played, I was unofficially like 2140 or so. Uh, and also in this, I was dead lost. I'll show you where I was losing. Uh, but my opponent went into this long think, uh, and he thought for something like an hour and 20 minutes. I was crazy. I don't remember exactly where it came. Uh, Maybe I'll remember it by the board, or I can dig up my game score. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. If you really want to know, you're going to have to say yes. Tell me what movie took an hour and a half on. So, uh, might have been this one. Uh, and I didn't solve it correctly. And I've given up the bishop pair. Uh, but he has adequate play here.
Check.
But the point is, we want to get to the fortress. I'm not so much concerned. I'll show you the simple one he missed. I think I can show it to you. My rook's in a little bit of trouble, and now I have to give up the exchange. And he even has a passed pawn. But if you were watching last night, I had the game with the 3-to-1 pawn majority. I don't activate it in this game. It's gonna be part of the fortress that I set up. So here's the point where he had me. Not quite. Now I've got a mate threat to deal with.
Check.
And all he had to do here, let's see. I seem to remember this knight getting forced back here. Let me go forward a little
Check.
bit. Maybe it's still to come.
Check.
Yeah. Now knight goes to a3. All you need to do was play bishop c5. And I think the game is over. Let's see, what did he do? He went for my king.
Check.
Okay. So look at this move. The threat is to play bishop takes, pawn takes, and rook takes, and it's all over. So I probably have to play this. And I still think that black can do this and should have a simple and routine win. Okay. So but I did say he took an hour and 20 minutes on a move. He was in time pressure.
Check.
Let me bring up the screen. Nobody asked me about what move did he play. Whoops. I have to shrink this. It's hiding the. There we go. So he went for my king. And now that's not really a mate threat. My bishop can block.
Check.
And I go back. And he's just trying to make time control. Now I free my knight. And the fortress is almost here. Okay. So if you look at this position, we have the opposite colored bishops, and that's what helps me set up my fortress. I control the light squares. He controls the dark squares. His passed pawn has been neutralized. Now, if black gives back the exchange, he's going to be a pawn down. So it's not all that easy for black to make progress here. So he comes back, and I still has my king cut off. But now my knight just occupies a nice central square, and and like I say, I'm going to control the light squares. It's difficult to see how black can make progress. And
check.
just can't do anything. He did neutralize my queenside pawns. As I mentioned, they weren't trying to become a factor like in that other game where I'd given up the exchange. But how does he make progress? See, I've got a lot of these key squares covered. Okay. I'm keeping his king out of these squares. Soon I'm going to keep his king out of this square too. And his king is kept out of this square. Now, I haven't yet cut him out of here, but we'll see as it goes. Okay, so I do have to make moves. I'm wiggle-wagging my knight. I just go back. And, again, he's trying to restrict my king. My king can't get out, but I can play g3. That's what I do.
Check.
And, I still I'm still very close to my fortress. And how does black win this? He needs to reach a rook versus minor piece ending. He needs to trade his bishop for my bishop or for my knight. Well, it's very difficult to trade opposite colored bishops. It can be done, but they're not trading each other. It's like I attack his bishop with my knight or my king. He attacks my bishop with his king or his rook, and then we both capture. Well, that's not going to happen. And as long as I don't leave my knight in line with his bishop, or decide to trade off my knight for his bishop on my own, he can't get an exchange. But if he could get the exchange, then his idea would be to win with rook versus minor piece. And he does have a passed pawn, but again, I have a blockaded. Now, could he get his king to d5 and his rook to f4 and try to take it? Well, yeah, that would leave him a piece up, winning 2 for the rook, but it's not that easy to get there. And he cuts my king off again. Now I just come over here.
Check.
And, I'm on the light squares. And he can't do anything. Now I'm threatening to win his bishop, so he has to run away. Now he is tying my knight down to some degree, but at the same time, I can move my king if I want. At some point I played c4, or maybe I spent a tempo with c3. But now maybe I have visions of trying to set up some counterplay too, so he's got to keep that in mind. So here he stops b4. So now I play c4. But now I've done what I want to do. His king can't access any of these squares. His king can access f5, but he's also walking into discoveries. He can remaneuver and attack b3 with his rook, but I'm able to put my bishop on c2 and hold it. He can try to get his rook into d4, but this also lets my king free. So I pretty much have my fortress here.
Check.
And I just go back and see his king has no way in. So he's starting to admit that it's a draw. And maybe 10 moves before this, I don't remember exactly when, because the game was still going and the way they didn't have sudden death time control, we had to adjourn. So I had to go play my 6th round against another master, with the outcome of this one undecided. So theoretically, I could lose to the next master and then blunder this game away, and my score would be 2 and 4, and I'd be out of contention for a prize. Even though I would have played 4 masters out of 6 rounds, had 4 losses, and I beat a couple of 1800s. But as it stood, I drew the master that in round 6, and then came back and drew this game, and I was 3 and 3. Then I had to beat two low 2025 to 60 area. I had to beat 2 of them on the last day, Sunday, 8-round American Open. But I said my unofficial rating was 20 and 40. I was strong enough to do that. And anyway, he wouldn't take a draw for any reason. He wanted to keep playing. And there's something when we do reach the end. I don't think I offered him too many draws. I wasn't too rude, but
check,
he's trying to get somewhere and he just can't get anywhere. And he doesn't have any way to penetrate. And
check,
so here he offered me. Now he offered me a draw here, and I just took it to get the game over with. And I discovered years later, either I forgot about it or I didn't discover until I posted this on my video lesson number 7, I think it was. It looks like I'm making some progress, and that I could play this for a win. So a number of people were asking me, well, what about this? And then, no, we'll discuss that, what this is in just a moment. And I answered it on either video lesson 11 or video lesson 12 if I got that far. But still, even to this day, I have people ask me about it. See, so he offered to draw because he saw this move. Wait. We got to move the king. Okay, where are you going to put the king? Let's pick a square. Let's just pick D6. Okay, but now I have this. And this looks like it wins for white. Okay, because, where are you going to put the rook? Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, you can't go to E4. Duh. Bishop takes. Okay. So if the rook retreats, I just pick this up and I get to play this for a win. I have 4 pawns against 3 and 2 minors for the rook. So, maybe the last thing in the world I was expecting was to win this. I had my mind set on a draw. But it turns out this position is a draw. And all he needs to do is, oh wait, let's not put the king here. I just picked a square, remember? Let's put the king here. We want to protect this. Okay, so now knight f3, but I can't win this. He just has to put this rook here, and if I take the bishop, I lose one of my pieces back. And now black can start thinking about playing it for a win, because my fortress is broken down. So I would have to take the rook, and as I mentioned earlier, if he gives back the exchange, I'm a pawn ahead. And here, this is a drawn position. I have an extra pawn, but I can't win. Okay, white to play. I can't play h4 to keep this on a light square. If I just play this, his king, well, he can just do this, I suppose. Or probably more, well, let's see. Yeah, he has to. He can't bring his king up too quick. But, I have a little initiative here, but I can't win this. The position would be a draw. So I missed that at the time. What would have happened? What would have happened if, when he offered to draw, I said, make your move. I'm entitled to, when you offer a draw, you have to show a move too. So one thing, you have 2 ways. You can say, make your move and I'll consider it. Or you could just sit there like you didn't hear anything. And eventually, black is going to have to play a move. Because if he doesn't play a move, his flag will fall. So here we are, move 63. So imagine I don't remember what the secondary time control was, probably 25-1. So maybe we're not that far away from the next time control. It was 20-1. We are a ways away. Let's see. So suppose I just said, okay, I got the draw, but he didn't show me a move. I have a right to the move. I was so happy to get the draw, I just took it. But suppose, like I say, suppose I sit there and I don't say anything, and eventually he plays here. And by the time I realize that he needs to defend this pawn, all of a sudden I think, my God, I'm winning. Like I said, I had several people respond to me, uh, over that video lesson that this move wins for white, but it doesn't. And to be honest, I did not see this at the time the game was played, and I can't remember if I saw it uh, back then at some point, or if I didn't see it until someone suggested it, or if I saw it when I made that video. I imagine if I'd seen it when I made the video, I would have concluded it. So either I forgot about it when I made the other video, or somebody told me, or I discovered at the same time someone was telling me. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but this is a saving move for black to hold the draw. So that in itself is kind of a fun move. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video.